Hey guys, this is IntroducingEmy and we're back with another Redline Tuesday. This one, well, I didn't have a name attached to it, but you know who you are. The character is Etho from the Minecraft server. And it's him and his jetpack, and we're just going to get started. And I'm actually going to just... This was already like a dark blue color, so I'm just going to... The color I put on top is not quite as blue as I normally would have it, but that's okay. I'm going to crop this a little more. It came in a frame. Actually, let's not crop it in too much. It came in a frame, and I cropped it down just for like ease of filming. So we've had quite a few lately that you can get away with just drawing one side and then mirror it over. So I'm gonna do that. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, so I like to start here. This is like gonna be a little mark for the Adam's apple. Down the neck and into the clavicle. And rather than having so much of a step here, let's build up his neck just a teeny tiny bit into the shoulder, into his chestolines. Remember your egg-shaped rib cage would be here. It's kind of like if you took an egg and made an upside down heart. That's sort of the shape. Let's draw through the neck so we can see where that attaches. All right. Now, we're already running into some funny stuff here, but basically the length of, let me kind of guesstimate on myself. I hate that word, but oh well. I would say kind of like knuckles or mid-palm to the elbow needs, this length needs to be the same here for the upper arm. So I'm going to mark out where the hand is, but then I'm going to sort of, this is why I didn't want to crop in the edges too much, because I knew I'd have to move that elbow out a little bit. Let's do, there, okay? I'm not really digging this armpit here. Yeah. I was seeing if that line made me feel better. It didn't. So I will cheat a little teeny bit here, just speed up the process. Just move this in a little bit. So the belly button would be about here. Down into the crotch. I always like to think of like where the bikini would fall. Like if he had like a bikini on, that's kind of where the crease, the joint, or not the joint, the crease. Yeah, I was right the first time. The crease of the thigh connecting to the torso would be. I like to put a teeny tiny thigh gap in there, especially since I think this character would be standing with his legs apart. I'm not trying to give anybody an unrealistic standard of beauty here. I just think that he is standing a little more like a guard or a sentry, you know, or the Rocketeer. I really need to see that movie. It's been a long time. So I'm going to do his body stuff first, and then I will I'll put his clothes on. So something tells me you wanted like his hand, like his thumb wrapped around like that. So, but his thumb would actually, even if I turned the hand, would still kind of fall like more in the front, as if he was like hooking his thumbs into his belt. Having a little think. Maybe something like this. Minus the enormous hands. Kind of a habit. I sort of overdraw my fingers a lot of times when I'm sketching, just because nobody can stop me. And there's not really like a need to draw them smaller, I guess. I'd rather draw stuff too big than too small. I'd rather be bold in my in my drawings than have them shy down into little like microscopic doodles. So the face is, you know, fine in my opinion. Ooh, he's got the prettiest eyes. He has like a sparkle. Which I am now going to blot out. I might, if this was my drawing, I might make his eyes a little smaller. But this is kind of like personal preference. You know, you don't have to do that. I would also try to vary the line weight on, it's a little easier to see here. I try to make this side a little thicker, or maybe like in here a little thicker, so that you kind of get like that a little bit. And I would even try to like change up the shape, the outer shape of the eye, unless you're even if you're going for like really rock hard, maybe that's not a great adjective, but like really like yeah, rock hard realism. Let's just go with that. You still wouldn't get like a perfectly, I can't even really do it. I've never trained myself to draw it like that, but you wouldn't get like a perfectly symmetrical little diamond shaped eye. You get some variation in there. I'm also going to put like a little brow wrinkle there. Alright, let's get back on it. Oops, wrong one. Okay. And make sure that even with the curve of the head, that the top of the ear aligns with the eyebrow, and the nose, which I guess we'll just say is right in here. Okay. And for those of you not in the know with Minecraft, this Minecraft Let's Player, Etho, he uses a Kakashi from Naruto. He uses a Kakashi avatar skin thing. So he has like a little ninja mask, which I would say goes like this. I'm just sort of hinting where the bottom lip is. There's like a little shadow under the chin there. It's the bottom of the nose. Oh, I was wondering why that looked a little hard. I was set to pencil. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to mirror this over, and I will put some clothing on him. I might even make his eyebrows a little thicker too. That'd be cool. Again, these are just sort of like suggestions. You don't have to do any of this. As always, let me kind of correct this arm a little bit. Sitting here having to think about it, because it's not great. So let me kind of quickly select this. Let's take it up to its own layer via cut. Let's cut, stop. Let's cut this out too. Let's layer that via cut. And don't do what Emmy do. She's goofing off. So rather than kind of having all the fingers doing kind of like this, and since I've had to turn, since I've turned the hand more down this way rather than how you're kind of, it's leaning up into the body, I've sort of turned it down in a way. I hope that I'm going to try to space out the fingers a little differently. I don't know if that will work so great. By the way, this is really what my this is what my sketches look like when I'm having a good old consideration about what's going on here. And then I'm going to make this, oop, that's my doggy. She was coming over to see what I was doing, I think. Alright, let's see if we can make something better happen. I have to admit, this is not what I would do. I would normally put I like to do like a fist against the side. So something like that. But like the hip would be covering it. That's just where I'm coming from, but I will try to stick with the what you've got going on here and try not to ruin it too much. I'm a ruiner. I probably should have looked up a reference before I started redlining this. But we'll see about making do here. Yeah, I don't like that. Still not like a huge fan of the way I've drawn it even. Where's my rotation tool? There it is. Let me kind of come at it from a slightly different angle. But what I was getting at was that I would try to break up the rhythm of the fingers a little bit. Don't mess this up, Emmy. The whole world's watching you. okay, I give up. It's conquered me. As usual, hands are slightly a weak spot for me, and I actually feel like I'm not too terrible at drawing hands. The problem is I hem and haw around a bunch until I'm like, this doesn't look like a hand anymore. Or I don't think it looks right, but then I go look up a reference and like overlay my stuff, and it's actually really close. And I'm like, why was I so worried in the first place? Alrighty, and one last check that we have to do. I'm just going to duplicate this so I can get an idea, is to make sure that the hand is not bigger than the face. I think it's okay. Maybe a touch smaller, a touch, just a touch. Alrighty. Let's get rid of my undersketch there. Now I realize I've kind of thickened him up a bit. I'm not exasperated with you. I'm exasperated with myself. I have a habit of drawing people a little heavier or chunkier, and then when I have to do somebody else's work, it's funny because a lot of people probably don't think my drawings are super thick, but compared to like a more anime style, which this is kind of anime in the body, not so much the face. But the slimmer, leaner limbs I tend not to draw much of, and then when it comes time for me to do that, I'm lost and lone in the wilderness. There we go. Okay. I've tried to sort of soften up some of the lines in here so that it's a little clear what I was going for. And before I waste the rest of your day working on a single hand, oh, come on tablet, come back to me. There it goes. Let's flip this over and do the clothing and accessories and whatnot, and then we'll be done. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Now, as always, when you do a drawing like this where the character's facing forward and you kind of use that shortcut of mirroring it, which is totally fine. Tons of artists do it. It is not cheaty. Though if you really want to try to give yourself a challenge, you can draw it from scratch on both sides. But anyway, I'm not going to do it here just because I kind of want to keep going and get a move on with this one. But when it comes to drawing a mirror drawing, what I like to do is places, like for one, I'm not going to do the clothes super mirrored. I'm going to try to keep some of the asymmetry in there because that's natural. And if I was you, I would Let me put a note here. Asymmetrify. Is this a word? Asymmetrify? Yeah. Asymmetrify the asymmetrify hands. So like move the fingers around, kind of change that body language there a little bit. Same with the face. If you would like lift one eyebrow higher, kind of give them like a quirked smile or something. I know you can't really see it under the mask, but you can kind of like make a little go of it, you know. And even to some extent, the Adam's apple. And arguably, if this was a female character, I'd say the breasts. I would make a teeny bit asymmetrical. And I'm like saying a teeny bit because if you have one that's like this and they're like that, it's gonna, yeah, it's not gonna look good. But if you have a character facing forward and they're a little too asymmetrical, sometimes it can come off as sort of a deer in the headlights sort of thing. They will look a little not real, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But make sure that the nipples generally stay at the same height, lest you have kind of like wall-eyed boobs, if you can see them, that is, or like if you can see them through the fabric or whatever. But that's just like my tip for that. Also, his eyes are a little close together, I just realized. Let me layer via copy and I will show you what I mean. Let's not make it teal though. We'll make it blue. Okay, so the eyes are just a little close together, but you should be able to fit at least an eye length. We'll center it like that. You should be able to fit an eye length right in between the eyes here. And this might be my fault since I changed it a little bit. And you can even go, if you want like a really unusual looking character, you can sometimes even go out even further. In fact, I've heard that I'm going to do the cheaty thing and just kind of erase these a little bit so that they seem further apart. Pro tip. But I've heard that people with far set eyes are considered more naturally beautiful to us, like instinctually beautiful, and I'm not sure why. I don't even know if that's, you know, super true or not. But I've heard that before, that, you know, men and women with I wouldn't say walled eyes, but wall eyeing is something different. That's like where your eyes kind of go off in different directions. But yeah, if like you have a girl and her eyes are kind of like far set, or a male, there's something about that like in our brain it triggers that that's like a more beautiful face. Now, and there is something to say for that, you know, like when you look at characters like Hello Kitty or what's another good example? Yeah, I would say like any of the Sanrio characters basically are pretty have pretty far set eyes. Of course, their eyes are just like dots, but the point still stands that characters who have really far set eyes tend to look cuter. Like that. And then, I don't know, if you bring them together, are they still cute? Not so much. Not so much. I wonder if it makes the character seem sort of like their eyes are narrowed, or they're like glaring, or they're too focused or so. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about. Sorry, my tablet's dropping connectivity here for some reason. Yeah, I know. I don't know if you saw that pop up in the corner, but it just told me it doesn't recognize that USB device, even though I've been using it all darn day. Oh, it's doing it again. I might have to change jacks here. Oh, it's back. Okay. I don't know why it does this sometimes. It sort of goes through these, like, periods of ennui. I could edit this out, but I'm a professional, and you just get to hear me fumbling around with my USBs. Okay, there we go. Is it gonna stay? Stay with me. Stay, child, stay. Yeah, the connectivity on my tablet is kind of meeting its rough end here. You know, now that I'm looking again, sorry, this always happens with me. I'm like, now that I'm looking at his face, I'm gonna move this all up. Just a little bit. For funsies. Okay. So let's go ahead and start adding accessories for funsies. I'm sorry that this episode is not like chugging along super fast or anything. I just kind of, I don't know. I'm in the mood for some casual Redline Tuesday. Wow, my tablet really just can't stay connected. Come on, there you go. I think the cable might be getting old or something. I'm not totally sure. So I am going to first do the things that I want to have be fairly symmetrical, or things that can be made asymmetrical with small changes after I mirror it. Oh, that overlaps. Okay. I didn't know what that was. Okay. And I'm going to put the mark for the sleeves. Put some basic wrinkles. Let's have the pockets tilting upwards more rather than down. Remember to make sure that your pockets have sort of a 3D quality and bulge them out a little bit. And I'm assuming that's some kind of button fly. Oh, and I wanted to go over the tanks real quick, the Jetpack Tanks. So I think you're trying to make them look really like the Minecraft version of the tanks. I'm not sure though. I'm just going to change them up a little bit. Just make sure to kind of draw through your cylinders to make sure that they are not really off. Okay. I'm just debating if these could go up higher or lower. Then I think too many things would fall at that line, like the nose, the ears, the bottom of the or the lowest curve on the mask. So I guess we'll just skip that. I was going to attempt to change it up a bunch, but so the stripes need to yeah, I'm assuming these are stripes. You need to draw through. It's a little hard to do from this angle. Let's see if I can get closer. I hope that still looks okay. I just have to turn it a little bit. Like as if I was drawing on paper, I have to turn it. So make sure that you're drawing through your shapes. So that you are doing a complete ellipse. That way, the stripe has like an even curve and depth the whole way around. Let me not like completely erase that. Let me just dot it. Geez, how many strokes did it take for me to do that? Let me just go like this, so you can see it on the other side. Thanks for being patient with me too while I'm always changing my brushes and stuff. Okay. I might also maybe put like a seam, like a metallic seam, to show like where it's been like soldered together, something like that. You know, this is just ideas so that they don't look so smooth. But having those stripes more even will give this a more 3D quality. Because right now these stripes, if this was like a real stripe on a perfectly cylindrical object, this would be kind of like football striped. So try to keep it, keep drawing through your shapes there. I'm having too much fun with this. Okay. And we'll do the goggles. Let's add some connection pieces here. Oops, is that, sorry. Oh, I see. I think these are the, oh shoot. Can't think of the name of that mod. It's a really specific, it's a specific mod that comes with goggles and lets you kind of... It's from Minecraft. I'm sorry, I'm just babbling. It doesn't matter. All right. I was curious to see how those aligned. Oh, here's another little thing I just noticed. So, and I am guilty of this too. If you have a shine, like a direction, or let me rephrase this. If you mirror a character over to draw the other side, you need to make sure the shines still go in the same direction. So I'm just kind of arbitrarily picking a direction here. And you want to make sure then that all shines, I lost my purple, that all shines go that direction. So there's our goggles. So then when I mirror this over, which I will in a second, and let's draw the connection at kind of an angle here. I know, there's a creeper face. I gotta get the creeper face on there. It might be a problem, though. I guess I can make the goggles a tiny bit smaller. Or move them out more. Give room for the creeper face. Let's try that. Let's just go out a little more. It would help if I actually... I have a tiny issue here. It would help if I actually brought the face like up to fill the space that it's supposed to be occupying, huh? Okay, just deleting the other side. Sorry about that. I get to typing too fast, then I put in the wrong navigation sizes. Alrighty, so now let's add some stuff. Huh. I think these are curved too much. Well, anyway, let's add some stuff. Forget that. Yeah, I don't know. These probably should be a little straighter. These should be more like here. Alright. Alright, let me fix them. What kind of a redliner would I be if I didn't? A bad one. I know. I should probably redraw them from scratch, but I'm just gonna kind of feel it out this way so that I can kind of get a move on. I feel bad when I do these longer Redline Tuesdays. I feel like I'm taking up too much of your time, that I should be just, I don't know, doing something else. Save for updating today. I don't have anything else to do, so I've got a lot of chores done today, so I'm not too pressed for time. So I think that looks a little better. In the meantime, I might add like another belt. with like some kind of different clasp, and maybe that's for something else, you know. Now I realize this is sort of getting away a little bit from the Minecraft look, the way the mod looks. But I figure you can add some of your own, like, muse and interest and inspiration, and people will still know what you're doing. Now, of course, these are not like you must add these. Make sure to also, as usual, add like a little curve to any sort of like knit lines. So that we know that this is like a an object with some depth. I think that's supposed to be more like that. I was going to add a zipper, but if that's not in the cards for this, then that's fine. And we'll just have some fun, kind of do a rough outline of some interesting shapes here. He's got some Shui killer gloves. Shui, oh my gosh, I feel really old suddenly. I can't remember when Shui was a thing, when people said Shui. Now I'm worried that's a bad word and I shouldn't be saying it. Now, I'm pretty loosey-goosey with my clothing, but they still have us, you know, what's the old saying? They should be sisters, not twins. You know, like, you should see a little bit of harmony on both sides here, but it doesn't have to, they don't have to be exactly alike. But when it comes to faces, I kind of like them to be exactly alike. Again, you don't have to do that, you know, this is your world. But it's just something that I dig. I think it makes them more, they really confront the viewer with whatever their expression is if they're more symmetrical in the face, but if you keep the clothing and stuff a little more asymmetrical, it still doesn't, like, become robotic looking. Did I say robotic, strangely? And let's put some pinches here and some little nubbies sticking out. Gonna make the red line just a little lighter for a second here. Blasphemy. Again, you know, with pockets and things, there should be like a little outcropping. How far you want to take that or not take it is fine, but it's just to show, you know, this is like a separate piece of fabric that was sewn on. You know, it's in the details, it really is. Alright, and for the last thing I'm going to do is hair. Because I totally forgot to do that. Till just now. So again, his hair is kind of symmetrical. Let's, I know Kakashi has hair like for days or something. I can't think of what it looks like right now. I'm not a huge Naruto fan, but let's asymmetrify this bitch. I'm sorry. Bad word. Now I realize that my hair is pretty out there, but I kind of wanted to take it away from the head a little more. And as always, this is my take on the character, and you can feel free to add, subtract, multiply, and divide anything and everything I tell you to your heart's content until you feel it's closer to your vision. But I like to not only correct the anatomy or any other little, you know, misgivings that I see, but I want to give you kind of like a new way to think about it. So yeah, I would definitely try this on for size. And see how that does. Yeah, I think it looks really good. He's still a little stylized. He looks a little overly determined in mine. But, yeah, I think it looks nice there. I think maybe his shoulders are a little square for my taste. I might make them go up more if this was mine, but yeah. Okay, so I think that's gonna do it. I would like to thank the original sender for this. I'm sorry that I don't know exactly who you are. I mean, I have your email and stuff, but I don't feel comfortable putting your email out over the air, so you know who you are. If you would like to comment on this video and take full credit, that would be a loverly, because we would all like to know who you are. Yeah, alright. I think that's gonna do it, and yeah, I will, as always, keep sending your red lines into emmy.bittner@introducingemy.com, and I'm sorry this one is almost an hour long. I haven't done one this long in a while. Alright, I will see you guys later. Bye!